Hey, we just went live, and she jumped up and said she had to grab something. So she's here. She doesn't care about you as much as I do, guys.
Yes, I do. I didn't know he was going live. He didn't say nothing.
Hey, welcome back to Grumpy Acres. It's been a long while, it seems. Starlink's been acting up. Let's see who we got in the chat first.
It wasn't just Starlink. It was just busy.
We got Brian Griffin. We got the Northern Terminator, Tambra. Starla, how you doing, sweetheart? Hope everybody's had a good couple of weeks. It's been very busy around here.
Yeah.
Give us a 5x5 if you can hear us, and the sound is all good. Still kind of wary about Starlink. I'll tell you the story about Starlink after she gives her part of the update.
Ooh, I'm popping over there.
Oh, did you can something? You already canned something?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't know that. I thought you were going to. She's been canning today. I was complaining because it's so humid in here, and
I'm canning.
so that would be part of it. I hope everybody's doing well. You want to?
Hey, Leonard.
Hey, Len. You want to tell everybody what you've been doing the past 2 weeks?
Cooking. Story of my life. We had powwow. So
you guys saw the shorts.
Yeah. So we had powwow. I did tamales and loaded barbecue nachos and that kind of thing there, and did great. That was fantastic. So there was a mistake, and so started on my behalf, and then it kind of ended up on their behalf, and I was like, well, okay, so if we're gonna pay the extra, I'm gonna go ahead and cook.
Why'd you have to pay extra?
I waited till the last
You
minute.
have to tell them the whole story.
So I was actually supposed to have my application and everything in before the end of May, right? No, or by May 1st, I think.
Right.
And then luckily, I know somebody who knows people, and so they sent me in, but I ended up having to pay food vendor fees. So I was like, well, if I'm doing that, then I'm just going to go ahead and cook.
Yep.
And so I cooked, and it worked out great. It was fantastic. Love it, and I will do that every year. And that worked out very well for us. And I've streamlined everything so much. So as you guys see my kitchen and as things go, you're going to see it's not the way that it was. And I'm very specific as to where I want everything, which I noticed it was funny at Midwest.
How can they see your kitchen?
If you come to festivals, you can see my kitchen.
Yep.
But I did notice that it was funny to me that one of the guys that was standing there that comes to festivals, people would ask, where does this cooler go? And he's like, oh, it's Yoda's kitchen. I got it. And he was just like, that one goes there. What's in that one? Okay, that one goes there. It was cute. It was funny. And so people pay attention to my kitchen. And but for that was fantastic.
Well,
and
it helped that Camel Parrot was there.
Yeah.
Because she has a background in food service industry,
yes.
and she helped.
She actually trained under a cordon bleu chef, and so I don't have to worry about anything with her. She was able to get her food license right away passed. I was able to get that in, so that got us through, and yeah, it was perfect. It worked out very, very well. So yeah, so we had that. I think between Miss Cheryl and us, we had the best food there.
I think so.
So the healthiest, anyway. We know that for a fact.
Oh yeah.
Tiffany and
Cheryl does the Indian
tacos. And so in the fry bread hot dog. They're either hot dog or sausage. I can't remember. Are they hot dogs? And then so anyway, so we did that, and then the following weekend we had flea market out at the reservation, and oh my gosh, I literally, by the end of the weekend, I didn't want to see another cinnamon roll ever again. I have made hundreds of cinnamon rolls, and
you got a dozen more.
No, I have an order. I know I've got to make an order tomorrow, so it's okay. It's my niche, and 1 dozen's better than I can get 4 dozen in my oven at a time, and so yeah. So usually I'm scrambling and doing that, but yeah. And the cinnamon rolls got extravagant this time. So I had people, so Rena, one of the girls that he works with, she came up, her and Jennifer were walking out of the office and they saw me, and Rena said, hey, I've seen this. Well, I think it was a TikTok, right?
Mhm.
I've seen this TikTok where somebody does cinnamon rolls with strawberry and blueberry. If anybody can do this, you can. And I was like, oh man, really? Seriously? It sounds disgusting. And so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot just for you. And so we'll try it. And then Jennifer was like, well, peanut butter cinnamon rolls are a big deal where I come from. She's northern. And so I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and give that a shot. Dang. I mean, I'm selling out. So I nailed it. I got it. It's all good. And so I just checked the strawberry patch to see if we had any more strawberries in there. And we're getting towards the end of the season. So
Right.
unfortunately, I'm going to.
Well, now it's time to start looking to make another strawberry patch. So we've got.
We need to get those spread.
Strawberries
Yes.
that go in the end of summer instead of Juneberry, because those are all June.
Well, I have some everbearing in there. I do. The first, I don't know, maybe the Juneberry took over.
That's all Juneberry.
Okay, then we'll need to get some everbearing and get those in. So did that, and man, I'm tired, but it was worth it. It was a lot of fun. The connection, seeing family, friends, just there was so many stories that we heard, even from people in the community. Their families got together and they were out at powwow and met cousins they didn't know that they had, and nieces and that kind of thing. And it was just a lot of fun to hear the stories and see everything that was going on. And the artists, the jewelry artists that were out there were absolutely amazing. I got mine. She knew to come straight to me. Can you see that? Are the stones on there like that? Yeah. And so she came straight to me, and dang it, I wish I would have bought more because, I'm like, should have got some of the smaller ones too. So, but she gives me a good deal and she makes them. She is from Wisconsin. So she comes down from Wisconsin.
Okay. Zach's got a question.
Yeah.
My potatoes are doing okay. If certain sections aren't popping up, are they dead or can they still grow? I would leave them in the ground.
Leave them in the ground. It's still early.
Yep.
Especially considering you're in Colorado. So, yeah, I'd leave them in.
And if they're duds, then they just rot into the ground.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt the rest of the
patch. Yeah, it doesn't hurt anything else. I've had potatoes that sat in the ground for a year before they popped up.
Yeah, we had a lot of volunteers this year too, even. So yeah, no, I'd leave them. But yeah. So that was my 2 weeks.
Then you conned the kids into helping you clean the house.
I did not. I did not con them. So it was great because the Beast and Feed, they helped me at the flea market in the kitchen because I needed somebody at the front of the house, and then I needed somebody on dishes and prep and that kind of thing. And I make everybody get their food handler's license before they can come in the kitchen. Those are the rules. And so they did, and so they are my designated helpers. And so they came in for flea market and got everybody situated, did all that. And I was like, oh, at the end of the day, I was like, now I have to go clean my house. Because they knew we were selling out of cinnamon rolls. So that night, even though I had been on my feet cooking since 6 o'clock in the morning, I needed to get home and I needed to make more cinnamon rolls for the following day. So, I mean, it looked like flour just blew up and butter and sugar everywhere. And I did tell her, Fee's like, well, I'll come clean your kitchen. Excuse me. And I told her she didn't have to. She said she wanted to, but excuse me. So we ended up.
People coughing in their
You know I'm coughing. I have terrible allergies. Rain's coming in. The rain is coming in, and I can feel the ragweed in the air. Excuse me. So anyway, so she volunteered to come over and clean. It just so happened that their parents were running errands and doing some stuff, so I had the Beast with us. You guys have seen him before. So he came in, he helped as well. He helped you unload the truck. So 4 of us kicked out in 2.5 hours. What would have taken me 2 days?
Right. Well, is that Celsius or Fahrenheit?
What's that?
I'm pretty sure it's Celsius, which I'm not sure how much that
100
is.
degrees. I don't know. You have to look at the thingamajigger.
Still, it's hot, especially in Ontario this time of year.
Yeah, it was what 90, 95 today, and then humid, very humid.
Well, that's the big news around here is it's been raining. We got almost 8 inches of rain here at the house over the course of 2 nights. Have had standing water in the yard and in the driveway for 3 days now. I think it's mud now, so all the standing water's gone. The pond, as I said in one of the walk videos, the pond is fuller than it's been since we moved in, and we've got more rain coming in tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain all day,
and then again Saturday and Sunday.
which I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, I am not complaining.
No, we're glad to have it
because we need it, but it makes it kind of hard to do stuff outside.
Yeah.
Saturday, I tried working outside a little bit while she was gone at the garage sale, and I couldn't do it. And then Sunday it was so hot and humid. I worked for about 6 hours and put a lid on it, much like our president when he gets tired. Called the grandkids, talked to them a little bit, and had a good Father's Day. Hope all the fathers in here had really good Father's Days. It's becoming more important to me to keep in touch with those grandkids and talk to the kids. But just been doing work around here. The big project right now is to get the Impala running. Since the Jeep blew ahead, we got to get the Impala running. So trying to get tires done and was going to work on the muffler. The muffler had a hole in it, or one of the mufflers had a hole about that big. And so I replaced it, and as soon as I cut that old muffler off, it rained, and there was an inch of water standing underneath the vehicle.
So it took a minute.
So I had to wait for it to dry up. I finally got it replaced last night and started working on the tires. Tire prices, my gosh. They always hurt me before. They really hurt me now. And they're not the hand-cooked tires that I used to get for $89 are $121 now.
And then you couldn't even get those.
Yeah, I couldn't get those. Oh yeah, if you're ever buying tires from Big O, the tires on their website are actually national, and each region has their own supply chain. So there could be tires on the website. I almost bet it's like this on any of the big tire places. But if it's on the website, does not necessarily mean it's going to be in the regional supply system.
So the tires ended up being $15 more, but they were better quality tire, which is better for us anyway because of the gravel roads. So
Well, and
I think that's why they do that.
Because of
and they warranty them.
Because of the screw up and the miscommunication on their part, because they didn't tell me that they didn't have them. So I didn't find this out until I went up there. They gave them to me at the same price as the other ones.
Oh, nice.
Let's see here. What did Misty do? Misty closed the 39-foot travel trailer. I feel better when they get everything transferred and FEMA picks up their trailer.
Good.
Oh, yeah. But
Good.
let's see here. Holy crap. Don't know if I can take Grumpy and 4K UHD as sick. By the way, you have something in your beard. Do I have something in my beard? Yeah, it's called gray hair. Talking about right there? I don't know where it is. That side. Right there? No, that's just shadow. Is that anything? I don't know. I've been known to keep food for later, so.
Let me see what's going on here. I think you're just like kind of.
It's the shadows.
You need beard oil.
They put beard
Too
oil
bad
on.
you don't have any.
I do put beard oil on. Put it on every morning. And beard oil is not for your beard. Did you know that? Beard oil is actually for the skin underneath the beard.
Huh.
See, Rabbit's laughing now. Nah, seriously, I've been known to save food for later. It's not a big deal. Speaking of food, somebody was out running errands today, and she stopped at Subway looking for a healthy option. And what the sandwich cost you? Is a foot-long, right? It's a foot-long sandwich. And how much did it cost?
$17.
$17. So she ate half of it, and she brought the other half home for me. And back before we moved here and I had the extra income, I liked Sonic. I liked going to, or not Sonic, Subway. I liked going to Subway because I liked some of their sandwiches. Well, the one she got, number one, the bread tasted funny. It did not taste like it used to taste. And number two, she got guacamole on it, and it was disgusting. And
I think it was the holy moly guacamole, and so that they sell in the store, so it was processed. You know, when they advertised avocado and crushed avocado, I was like, oh, it's got to be crushed avocado. It's not. It's processed. So it was pretty disgusting.
Fun fact: what tacos was actually?
And then they kind of made me upset
Really?
because I was I was in there and I hadn't been in a Subway in years.
I don't think I've had a Subway sandwich in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and so
I had one a couple years ago.
I was looking at the menu because now there's way more options. And so I was looking at the menu because I really wanted to see like what was on every sandwich and, you know, did I want a wrap or did I want, you know, this or that? And so I was going through to see what everything was, and they were like, "Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Dear God, I will let you know when I'm ready. I'm looking at the menu. I haven't been here in years. Let me just go through the menu and see what I can have." Finally, after the fourth time somebody asked me if they could help me, I finally turned around and I looked at them and I said, "Look," I said, "if you don't stop, I'm walking out." I said, "Don't pressure me. You put me under pressure, I'm gone." And so then they finally, you know, one guy laughed. He thought it was funny. I should have just walked out then. But
you shouldn't have walked in to begin with.
No, I shouldn't have, but I was just trying, it was convenience. And so anyway, it won't happen again. So I'll remember $17 sandwich.
And then there's stories, Big Mac had an $18, or McDonald's had an $18 Big Mac.
What?
Five Guys is more expensive than it used to be.
Five Guys or McDonald's?
McDonald's
or Burger King, like you said, all three.
No, in California, McDonald's had Big Macs for $18.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for a community dinner next month, and we were actually talking about that because the price of the burger bar. And like when I go in, I don't eat like everybody else, so maybe I can get half a hamburger in or something like that. I eat like a bird, you know, just pretty much.
And it is all you
try
can
in a couple of days, a couple times a day, and then, you know, if I don't forget to eat and that kind of thing. And so I would just eat half. I'm not going to eat the whole thing, and it's going to be $16 to eat.
Right.
So
and she's reasonably priced. I mean, when it comes to eating out,
I think it's because it's all you can eat. It's just the fact that I can't do the all you can eat.
Yeah.
So, but she's also, that being said, she's also really good too. If I want to take something home, I can put something in a container and
she knows about everybody's allergies.
And she knows about everybody's allergies, and I don't have to worry about dying by the time I get home.
Again, when we had disposable income, things like that weren't an issue.
I think even if we had disposable income, I would have a problem with the $17 sandwich. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, Subway, yeah, Subway.
Not gonna lie. You know, at least with the $16 hamburger bar, I know it's farm raised food, and I know it's healthy food.
Did they get rid of the $5 footlong?
I think those days are long gone. Long gone. I think they're $12 footlongs now. And I think that special, if I remember correctly, well, that was last year. It only came around once last year that I saw it anyway here.
Oh yeah, we used to abuse the buffets when I was in college and in the Marine Corps.
I just can't eat like that anymore. So, and now it's all packed full of NSD and all kinds of garbage. You'd be shocked. So I just can't do it. But at least with Bailey, I know she's making everything fresh, and she knows my allergies and puts something aside. Usually has a chicken option for me. So.
Exactly. That's why we should cook for ourselves most times. In April, I took a woman to Denny's, and it was $41 at Denny's.
Dang.
Seriously?
What happened to their $2.99 grand
I don't
slam?
know. Man, we used to. You go with $5 and walk out from Denny's with
stuff.
I wonder what Waffle House is like now.
I don't even know. Well, it used to be full of crack and
you could get the best eggs and bacon
and a side of crack
and meth at the Waffle House near where we used to live in Kansas City
for like $5 and walking.
Ian and I used to love going there.
Yeah, that's just good money.
It's a different world. It's a different world.
Oh man. Yeah, and then they're talking about food prices going up again. Was it, what did I see, like 9-10%, something like that?
Right?
And they're calling it inflation. Huh. At least they're being honest now.
Well, I can tell you right now, general food prices are going to go up because Brazil is one of the major exporters of soybeans to the world, and they're
Shouldn't be eating soybeans anymore.
well, no, it's in everything. Most of the stuff
Not
you get,
everything.
most of the stuff you get from the store has some sort of soybean in it.
Oh, I believe that. That's why
But
all the cans
they're
have
losing
it.
they're losing a large portion of their crop, like double-digit percentage of the crop, because they have had a very wet fall down there. Same with beef prices. They've had flooding, and they're a big exporter of beef. So look at prices go up, because even if somebody's got to take up the slack for the world, and American soybean growers are going to take up that slack. They're going to
Kansas
sell.
will be happy about that.
They're going to sell the soybeans where they can make more money, and if that's the local market or if that's a market in Delhi, India, doesn't matter. They're gonna sell it where they can get their money out of it.
Yeah.
Same with the beef.
Yeah.
Well, and then we've got two of the largest dairy herds in Iowa. They found H5N1 in it, and so that's gonna be a scare. In fact, there's talks about more regulations on bulk milk sales because of this stuff.
So I find it ironic. So a friend of mine was telling me this, and Homestead Mama, I think is what she goes by, and she was telling me this. She said, "Here's what scares me." And she couldn't remember if she got it right, if it was 16,000 or 1,600. So bear with me. They did a DNA test on a McDonald's hamburger because they wanted to see how many different cows were in this McDonald's hamburger. So they took the hamburger patty and they did the DNA testing on it. 16,000 or 1,600, either way, both numbers are scary. Different cows were in that hamburger patty. How do you know what farm that came from? How do you know what you're going to call? Are you just deciding, oh, this farmer pissed me off today, so I'm going to go and I'm going to shut this one down and call all of his cattle?
Well, there's the good thing about
Because
buying.
you know the milk's doing the same thing.
There's a good thing about buying from local ranchers. We know our burgers.
We know exactly where our food comes
We
from.
know.
One cow.
There's one cow. The burgers for us. Now, it's not
I
good.
don't serve store burgers to anybody.
Well, you serve locally. You buy from the store, but
It's
for
Cecil
the
K's.
festival.
Yeah. So anything that I have to buy, I get at Cecil K's, and all of that comes from another farm. It's all farm raised, so I know exactly where it's coming from, and I know how it's raised.
So Skeens is putting jars in boxes.
Mm-hmm. Just getting ready to move. Be out here in no time.
Oh, you can go up to his rabbit's pantry too when you're up here. You know the comment
And then come do mine.
the comment that All American made about the noise and the people. I hate Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse is the worst. Oh no, he said he doesn't like going out and eating because of the noise and the people talking and people bumping into you.
Karen can't stand it either.
Texas Roadhouse is by far the worst.
You hated Veterans Day.
Well, I don't like going to Texas Roadhouse, period.
Yeah.
Never have. I haven't liked going there.
Well, on Veterans Day it was worse. So they were piling people into the aisles. It was terrible. So we won't be doing that again anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, a friend of ours, they raise cattle and they offer to host Veterans Day dinner at their house. So we'll be doing that over at Doug and Nadine's this year.
I need to get with Milk Lady about replenishing my beef next spring.
You want Jersey cow? And she's got 2. Well, right now she's got 3 left because the job didn't get finished, but she definitely has 2 for sure available that are ready for butcher right now. So if you want it, let her know.
Lucy doesn't even go out to restaurants anymore.
Yeah. Or I can let you know when Kelly Farms, when they're getting ready to butcher, that's where we get our cattle from, because they don't. Let me be careful, because they raise their cattle the way that we raise our sheep and goats and all of that, so they don't have to worry about getting sick.
BLT. She made a BLT the other day that was really good.
I've had a couple BLTs. You need to finish that sausage and bacon, by the way. It needs to be done by Friday.
Okay.
So
She had food left over from the kitchen, so I'm stuck eating it.
You're stuck.
Between blueberry cinnamon rolls and eggs and.
So not true. Like I totally
I'm
told
gonna put
him.
10 pounds on this.
I said, take this stuff to work, and he said, well, I'm not taking all of that. And he pulls a pan of blueberry cinnamon rolls out, and he's like, I'm keeping this.
I had one for dessert after the nasty sandwich too.
I can't help you. I try to make you healthy by sending all this stuff out of the house, and you refuse to let it all go outside the house. I cannot help you.
Yeah, Tracy didn't show up. Didn't go to the list.
Oh, because it's too far. That's why.
They've got responsibilities,
yes.
Like the rest of us.
Yes. So it's too far. When you've got those kind of chores and that kind of thing, and then you budget and you've got so much for gas, because you have to remember he works, so he drives a long way. So their fuel, it's I'm sure it's high. So yeah, it just wasn't feasible this year. So that's probably one that they won't, unless they figure something out.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it moving another 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away.
It made it done. I mean, it did. It hurt. It hurt. So yeah, we'll be thinking about it, but yeah, it made a difference.
I just avoid restaurant stuff because I don't like people in general, but I digress.
Yeah.
I enjoy going out for a nice meal. There's a couple of really good restaurants in Holton. I won't drive down to Topeka to go to a restaurant.
Boomers was good, and the way that it's set up, you're not all crowded in and that kind of thing. So it was nice and spacious. It was good.
Okay, I've been off a carnivore for the last week, by the way. I've been making a carnivore wrap that is really delicious. Cottage cheese, eggs, baked. Oh my God, it's so good.
You got to do the bacon one. So I did one. You put the bacon down. You take a pound of bacon. You weave it. Just like we learned in 3rd grade. And you weave it and lay that out. Then you take a pound of sausage and you put that out on top of it. Oh yeah, you had it. Make that one.
I got a better one for y'all. Get a skillet and put cheese on the bottom of it. Turn it up and let the cheese melt. And then you keep cooking the cheese until it starts browning, starts getting crispy on the edges. Then you fill half of it up with whatever meat you want in there. And you fold the cheese on top of it and slide it all out of the pan and let it set for about a minute and a half. And the cheese will get hard and crunchy. And it's just like it tastes like a big Cheez-It, to be honest with you, if you use the right cheese. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Well, Scanes, if you want, I can get you her number. And then you can call her and talk to her. Does Tamara cause some trouble?
Tamara says that she doesn't provoke people. I find that a little hard to believe.
I do too.
I find that. Somebody from Texas saying they don't provoke people.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. There's some ornery ones down there. So, yeah. So Peggy got a hold of me this week. We need to make a trip.
What's a Peggy?
Peggy, that out at the reservation.
Oh.
She was at St. Margaret. And so her and I were talking, and I really like her. We got to have some good conversation. She said that we need to make a trip to Oklahoma. That there for the Eastern tribes, that there is a really good museum there, and I need to see it. And so I don't know. We might try to fit that in. Maybe see if there's a festival, or just take a weekend for ourselves and go.
We have money to do something.
Well, we need to save some money and do
Vacations are out, people. We got more important things to do.
Anyway,
the clock's ticking.
She said it's and I do remember something like that when I was a kid. My mom and dad, we would always stop there, and there was always a hut. They had like the old stuff, and I remember a conversation with one of the elders, and got a doll and that kind of thing. And so it was always very interesting. But now I guess there's like a great museum there. And so we need to go. We need to go visit that. At least I do. I could always make it a girls' trip. The girls aren't going to appreciate it the way that I do, but we do need to. I need to go see it. If somebody's telling me that I need to go see it, I need to go see it.
See that? She doesn't provoke anybody, yet she carries around. She carries around 6 bullets. She just holds them in her fist and punches people out. Anti, what's up? Anti-Randy. Hey, whoa, excuse me. How you guys doing?
Oh, I was going to tell you, we've got that electrical cord. You just set it on the front porch. We need to pull that back in the house or put it back in the truck, one of the two. It's going to get stolen out there.
Which one?
ACM's electrical.
Oh.
We need to get that pulled in or put in the truck. So one of the two. Because I'll see him sometimes when he's at work. So if I have it in the truck, he could always, at lunch break or whatever, come and grab it. But we need to do something about that, because if that disappears, we have to buy 2 new rolls.
So we are slowly getting things squared away around here. I did that short this morning about the zucchini. It's kind of nice getting a harvest, and it's not the biggest, it's not the best, but it's the first one like that for zucchini we've gotten since we moved in here. And the whole property is just coming back to life and starting to do. Now the wind's been blowing this evening, and I walk out there, and there's a branch broken off the peach tree. So I've got
that must have happened today. The wind was blowing pretty hard.
Yeah, I've got to deal with that tomorrow. I didn't feel like dealing with it tonight. I was busy trying to get lug nuts busted off. I've got 2 that the little metal cap on them has come loose, so I've got to get those caps off and then get my lug nut removers and get those taken care of. Anti, probably because we're sitting 3 feet away from the microphone.
What do you say?
No, it sounds like we're far away from the microphone. Probably what it is.
Check your volume. Check your volume.
Did you just echo to try to mess you up? No. Did you echo?
No, I was like, check your volume. Anti, check your volume. You check your volume. Is anybody else having trouble hearing us?
Well, I asked for a 5x5 and nobody put it.
Right, yes, games. She says that she's having trouble, so I don't know what to tell you, because he's obviously not getting up to check anything.
Who?
You.
There's nothing I can do. There's a ton of background noise in here. You know what? You know what I can do to help us? I can ask them to send us money so we could buy a good camera and microphone system. How about that? Is that what you want?
I thought we had a good microphone. What happened to it?
It doesn't work on the thing.
Oh.
I guess I could always mute. Then it won't be synced.
always mute that and then do this.
Well, if you mute that and put the microphone on this, then it'll be like we're in a Japanese movie because they won't be synced up. If you notice, if you watch this screen and watch my finger, they don't move at the same time. So
how long are you gonna do that for?
I just until you saw it.
Wait, so do it again. It's only by like a nanosecond.
Yeah, but it make us look like we're in a Godzilla movie.
Damn right. Started GoFundMe.
Mulberries are coming in big time. All the critters are hanging around. I don't. Okay, you guys are gonna get a preview of tomorrow morning's walking video. I was out with the animals last night in the pasture, and I'm sitting down in the grass, and this deer comes out about 30 yards away from me. Comes out of the tree line. Didn't see me. Saw all the animals out in the pasture, and she stopped. She's a gorgeous little animal. She stopped and she stood there for about a minute looking around.
What kind of animal was it?
A deer, a doe.
Okay.
And finally, one of the goats looked up and saw her, and the doe was like, "I got to go someplace else." She kind of trotted off, but it was really cool seeing she was that close to me and getting this. You can see the muscle definition.
Shot. Put her in the freezer.
I don't know.
Why no?
No, it was too nice. Okay.
That was God saying, "Here's dinner.
No.
Thank you for your wife's
No.
sacrifice."
He was giving me. He's giving me a memory that I have all to myself. Hey, Grumpy, if you have Williamsburg coffee fruit juice, how do you deal with them? My plum trees were overloaded, and some Williamsburg. I just cut them off. You know, get past the break, cut them off, and we've got this
tar.
This tar that you put on there. It goes on.
And you can get that. Lowe's has it. Most greenhouses should have it, and you can get that, and you just brush it on, and then that'll keep it. It makes it like I don't know, scar, so that it doesn't go dry, and you don't get any fungus or anything in there.
You know, if you're worried about limbs breaking because they're overloaded, the only thing you can do is remove fruit and do some mid-season trimming, which isn't. It's not
terrible.
It's not the best for the tree because it will stress them out.
Well, there's 2 weeks in June that you can do that. So if you see it, well, here anyway, I think it's pretty much nationally. Double check that. Get with an arborist, and they'll tell you exactly what 2 weeks you have in your region. Here, it's the 2 middle weeks in June. And so you can go in and trim whatever you need to, because the fruit actually goes dormant at that time for 2 weeks. So that is actually the best time to trim your trees and do all of that. So not everybody thinks it's fall, but it's really not. It's those 2 weeks.
Well, we've had problems with the pear trees where they've got so many fruit on them that I've had to knock some of them off at times.
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple years to get those trees. I've got to get Daniel out here and up in those trees and get those done. But he's so busy. We're so busy.
We need to plant more peach trees because peach trees are notoriously easy to snap off limbs and stuff. Mm-hmm. We had one when I was growing up that used to lose limbs all the time.
Yeah, it's the healthiest it's looked since we've moved here. So it's kind of sad.
There's no fruit on it.
Well,
because we had a storm that blew all the blossoms off.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, and last year we lost all of them because of critters, like in one night. We tried to pull some off and tried to brace the limbs, but the weather and wind knocked the braces off. If you're going to do that, you can, I don't know how well it'll work, but you can take some rope and old garden hose and
that works really well.
Make a hanging brace, right? Mm-hmm. Just to help take the weight off the limb.
Yeah, you just kind of intertwine them to the trunk.
Yeah,
and it works well.
There's pruning.
You should, if you've been when we're out in the fruit trees or anything like that, you might see some of that. What we do with the fruit trees, because we have that out here. We especially do that with the young ones to train them. So, because we want them to go down and not straight up.
Pruning spray. There is a thing called pruning spray.
Well,
it's a sealer. It's a spectricide sealer.
Why not just get the bucket?
Yeah, it's a.
I've got a 5. It's not a 5-gallon bucket.
It's a half-gallon.
Like a 5-pound bucket, and we just use that. And as long as you keep it sealed up, then you got it forever. You just like use a paintbrush and then put that on there.
We had the spray stuff at one time. I don't know. I don't remember.
I never used spray stuff.
Yeah, we did because we used it out at when we were in Pleasant Hill on the fruit trees every time the goats would attack.
Oh yeah. It didn't last very long, which is why I switched to the bucket, because that lasts years.
Okay, what do we got going on? Have you talked about military defensive nuclear maneuvering, or do you want to keep that out of the light? No, we haven't. We haven't brought it up. You know, since you asked.
The president's threatening us.
Here's the thing. No, he's talking. There's been a lot of reporting on nuclear-capable aircraft moving around. Okay, you got to understand that most of our attack aircraft are at some level nuclear capable, and they're constantly moving around and stuff. Now, I'm not saying that there's not stuff happening as a result of international tensions right now. I'm not saying that's the case, but the news is going to take every single one of those planes, whether it's a normal routine thing or it's something special. It's going to turn it into, oh my God, nuclear war. They're going to do everything they can to scare you. All right? So take take what you hear from in the media outlets. I don't care if it's conservative or liberal. Take what you hear in that regard as for a grain of salt. Seriously, the best indication you can have is to talk to somebody you know in the military. And I can tell you right now that the Air Reserve is doing more training, but they haven't deployed any major units. Nothing too far out of the ordinary. All right, I can tell you that about the reserves. It's one of the things I missed about working for the National Guard.
I know we always were in the loop.
I always got really good. I always got really good intel on that.
Now it's here and there and that kind of thing.
So. The best one was, I don't know if you guys remember, like 4 years ago, there was all this talk about troops maneuvering and stuff like that. That people saw these trains with really weird looking vehicles on them. They were replacing all the Humvees in the regiment here at Fort Riley. They were replacing all the Humvees with the MATVs, or not MATVs. What are they? It's the new one. It's the new replacement.
You seriously asked me that question?
No, I was talking. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, honestly, do you blame them? And personally, I don't think we need to. I don't think. This is me personally, and I'm not some 20-year-old college student who's an expert in everything. So again, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. It doesn't make any sense to pre-position the nukes there.
So the grain of salt comment, I had to laugh. Oh my gosh, so funny. So we're sitting down and it's nothing. You know, the elders will get together and I enjoy talking with them and they tell me a lot of stuff. Well, it was really funny because the kids were sitting at the table when we were talking to one of the elders. And she said, I know you're a Trump supporter, you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, you know, I just think he can fix things and the least of the two evils, right? And so, you know, let's get the economy fixed and then we can go back and kind of figure out how to get things taken care of. So she starts going in and she starts telling me all this stuff. And she's telling me about how, like, Trump he's in cahoots with Russia and he's going to take control of our country and we're going to go back to the way that Germany was when Nazi was around. And I'm like, what in the world? And I looked at her and said, where are you getting this information from? And she's like,
with a straight face.
With a straight face. She goes, the news. And then guess what Fee did? I had to crack up laughing. And Fee's like 14 going on 15. And she
more like 14 going on 21.
Right. And she goes, oh, and rolls her eyeballs and twists her head. She goes, the news. And then she looked at me and I was like, settle down. And, you know, I like went over, we got in the kitchen and I kind of debriefed her the way we would do our kids and said, okay, now here's reality and all of that. And she said, oh yeah, she goes, as soon as she told me that the news is where she got everything from, I knew it was over. Like, it's all lies. They're like, what are they feeding these people? And the sad part is they're so used to the old ways where the news was telling the truth that they truly believe what the news is putting out.
The news hasn't told the truth since the
You know what I mean?
Since
So
the 60s.
you're right.
Walter
You're
Cronkite.
talking about elders. You're talking about people that are in their late 80s and their 90s. And they're buying the news hook, line, and sinker. It's extremely sad. So, anyway. But, yeah, I thought that was funny. 14-year-old.
Well, and Nick Freitas did a whole podcast, the Making the Argument podcast, about why you do not want to homeschool your children.
That was funny.
You do not want to the number one reason why you do not want to homeschool your children, according to Nick and crew.
Because you missed the opportunity to turn your child into a...
That's right. There's a 99.9% chance that they're not going to be an ungrateful communist. So if you want your children to become an ungrateful communist, don't homeschool them.
Yep. You taken what?
Is it?
What's that?
Okay, so we're on StreamYard, and we don't see anything out of the ordinary, like anything that doesn't come through on YouTube, we don't see.
And it may not be YouTube. On YouTube, we actually have some people in here that can monitor and delete comments. So if they're extremely inappropriate or something like that, then that might be why they're getting removed.
Rabid being inappropriate? No way is that happening.
And Skeins has the wrench, so.
Does she have the wrench?
Yes. Rabbit, you got to take it up with Skeins.
Oh, monitors now have better ways to do it. Hang on a second. Let me look.
Looks like Anti's got a wrench.
Well, almost everybody's got one.
No.
You know what? You know what, Rabbit? I'm not seeing. Are you sure they're making it onto the channel?
I don't see any of it. It doesn't look like anything's been removed.
Yeah.
Nothing's been removed.
Doesn't?
Because we would be able to see.
Yeah, it would say message removed.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know what's happening, man. Yeah, Jack, there are a ton of people out there that still, I don't know. I'm trying very hard to not be negative and not say stuff about my fellow Americans and to not talk about how screwed up things are. And I'm trying very hard to be somewhat positive, especially on the morning walks, because I could go extremely negative. Yeah. I don't know.
It just says message retracted. Okay, so then somewhere you retracted your message. Something's going on with your phone or wherever you're at, your computer.
So Randy says, we homeschooled both our boys. The oldest went from straight A's to S because the teacher found out who his mom was. Now they're both running businesses on their own. Go figure. What? Yep. Hold on a second. You're telling me.
How does that work?
You're telling me that they're successful business owners. Did they go to college? They had to. To be a successful business owner, you have to go to college. I've been told this.
You have to have your PhD. Didn't you know that?
I've been told this. The counselors at the kids' school told us that everyone needs to go to college if you want to be successful.
In fact, we were given all this stupid tests to figure out what we were supposed to go to college for.
Well, to be fair, I went to military school. The only, aside from
you were expected to go to the military.
the only test I took outside of the ASVAB, or not the, well, I took the ASVAB. That was the one. I did not take the SAT. What was the other one?
CAT?
No, I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's stupid.
It's only the SAT and the CAT.
Doesn't?
Well, when we were kids,
you don't have to go to college. In fact, a lot of kids shouldn't go to college, in my opinion.
No, so I almost think that they have it right in Jerusalem. I really do. I think that in Israel, I really think that 2 years of mandatory military before you go to college would be a good thing.
No, that's a whole different story.
I don't know.
No college, just a lot of common sense. Well, that puts them head and shoulders above most of their contemporaries, then. I'm just saying. Common sense.
Now, college doesn't make everybody a socialist.
I didn't say that. They don't teach critical thinking.
I mean, online classes, you can pretty much control your own. That's how I did it. So you can control your own schooling and your timeline and all that, and then do that. And so that's how, I did for banking and all that and finance. And so, They did a study. And mind you, this is back in the early 2000s, so prices are a little bit different. But they did a study, and they took one group of kids who had $100,000 in college debt, and they gave the same amount of kids $100,000 to start their own businesses. And as a whole, the kids that got the $100,000 to start their own businesses
were making more money by the time they were in their mid-30s than the ones that went to school.
Well, no, I can believe that.
Well, it's because they became small business owners.
Right, but you can also do it. However, you can also do it the way that our son-in-law did it. And he was ROTC. ROTC paid for his college education. Ian was going to...
Hold on, but what was he? He's a homeschool kid.
That's true. So, but...
My point.
But anyway, so we, there's ways to get through it. And then I worked, the bank that I worked for, they actually paid for my, I had to pay it front. And then if I got a certain grade in that class, they reimbursed me for that. So they paid for my education. So there's ways to do it without going into debt.
Hey, by the way,
and I wasn't homeschooled. I was just a terrible child.
Hey, Ghost, by the way, I am so observant that it hurts. I just realized that the new Never Alone shirts have your new logo on the shoulder with the
Summer Anarchy
with
and
the,
Summer something else.
with the Anarchy symbol.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's a good logo.
Yeah.
Because that Anarchy symbol used to be my moniker for a long time back in the 80s and 90s.
And I was a little shocked. You know where we sold most of that stuff?
At the we sold a bunch of Never Alone shirts at Powwow.
I need to get a T-shirt order in with you and hat order.
You know what? You say that, you never do.
I need to. I need to go DM.
I'm not doing it this time.
You didn't do it last time. I had to do it.
No, I didn't.
Help me. Well, but I just if you grab them, I'll count them. And to be fair, I've been cooking for the last 2 weeks. Powwow was just the weekend before last.
I'm talking about.
And I just had flea market.
I'm talking about.
We didn't need any. But I counted last time. So before. So you did the order before, and then we thought we needed to make a new order. I did inventory. Don't argue with me.
Drink.
So
Drink.
I did inventory, and you were like, "No, we're good." And then so I was like, "Okay," and we were good. So, but now I think we're missing sizes or down to one size, right, from Paula.
Tonight's beer, if you can't see that, is Kona, Big Wave, Liquid Aloha. If you've never had it, it's a very light, very, very, very light IPA. It's actually pretty good.
I had to laugh, so I got to tell you this because I was telling one of my friends, and like they totally know us, and it was, but you got to understand, Garen and I, we have been married well over 30 years.
Together for 17.
Together, well over 30 years, and so it was really funny because somebody, the last video we did, it was the Tuesday before Powwow. They had watched the video and he was like in a mood, and I was like, well, if you just want to shut it down, I'll shut it down. But I did it in the Yoda way, right? So not like, well, if you've had enough, we'll shut it down, because I'm not that person. Anybody that knows me, I am not that person. It's like, if you're gonna have an attitude, you're gonna do that, we're gonna shut it down.
You're the one that had the attitude.
Shut it down right now.
Shut it down,
dude, you had attitude. Anyway, so the person comments on there, this is my first time seeing the video. I'm pretty sure we scared that person. Seeing your live video, do you guys always fight? I was laughing so hard, like I couldn't even comment to it. I was just like, I'll let you take care of it.
I didn't see the comment. Good thing I didn't, because my response would be, if this is enough to scare you away, then you don't need to be here.
Right? We're like if you know us, we just don't, like, he's a Marine and I'm tough. We both have attitudes, and like this works for us. And so, we're not beating each other. We just don't put up with anybody's crap.
You know what? If it's not raining tomorrow, my walk may be about putting your big girl and big boy panties on.
Oh boy!
When you come in the door.
Oh boy!
If you come on our lives, or you watching one of our videos, put your big boy and your big girl panties on. This is not. I'm too freaking old to care about people's feelings anymore.
Well, then what was really funny? So after the live, my dad called. And so him and Linda are sitting there, and so we're having a conversation, and there was something that they disagreed on, so they're going back and forth. And I was like, okay, Garen and Angela, let's go back. And Linda literally, it was like, we sound like Garen and Angela. I mean, just anybody, if you love each other and you're strong enough together, this is kind of the way it works. It's called marriage. It's called dedication. And so,
I'll tell you the ones, people used to scare me when we were really young that I thought weird,
Yeah.
that always ended up having the most problems, were the people that never fought.
Yeah.
Because that stuff would build up, and
until they were done.
They were the ones that whenever they split, everybody was like, "Ooh, didn't see that one coming."
No. Yeah, no. So I just thought it was funny, but anyway.
Ew, rabbit, that doesn't sound like.
21 pounds now.
That does not sound good at
Since
all.
the 5th of June? Why? On carnivore? Is he doing carnivore?
I don't know. He's either he's got a tapeworm.
Did you order something from Mexico?
I don't wear shorts.
I don't know what that means.
Will not comply.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't. I just thought it was funny. But anyway.
God, those animals are out there. I did not, because we did the live tonight. I did not take them out on the pasture.
But you gave them feed.
I gave feed. But can you hear them out there?
Yeah, I'm hearing.
They sound like they're dying.
They're dying.
They sound like something's out there killing them. Hunger's killing them.
Oh, forget to eat. Oh no, Rabbit, you cannot do that. I forget to eat. It's hot, and so I get it. But don't forget to eat. And so it's pretty much, and like Mrs. Hacks, she gets on to me all the time because she can tell when I've not eaten. And so, because I'm cooking for everybody else. And I always think it's enough for me to just be tasting everything. And she'll see me because I'll start shaking, you know. And she's like, no, you need to eat something. You haven't eaten today, have you? And it's like, I have to think about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I haven't. But I've done pretty good the last couple of days trying to make sure I get some food.
You know, Rabbit, I got your back, man. I'm covering for you. I'm remembering to eat every meal. And then some in between right now.
Yeah, just even if you get the food like cool food, just grill some chicken or whatever, throw it in the fridge, and then make a chicken wrap or something like that. Just something quick that you can grab. Remember to grab. Make some tamales. Throw those in the fridge. You know, grab those real quick.
Okay, I'm 54 years old. At my job, I babysit 20 to 30 grown men, 40 to 60 years old. They all act like a bunch of.
Is that Randy Pitts or my dad? I'm not sure.
Just saying, people these days are different from when we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. No, because I remember my dad having the same complaint. My dad used to have the same complaint all the time. And so he'd come home, and if we were acting up or something, he said, I babysat monkeys all day long. I don't need to babysit you. Get right, or we get sent for a round.
Popcorn on a fire pit. That sounds really good.
Do what?
Some old-fashioned popcorn recipe.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do it in bacon grease?
I love popcorn for dinner. I'm not going to lie. Like, I could totally do that. I'm around there. My uncle and I would go visit my uncle. My aunt would be gone, and I'd visit my uncle. And Uncle Claude and I, that's what we had. Lexi was with us. So we microwaved a bag of popcorn, and each of us had a bag of popcorn. That's what we had for dinner. It was awesome. It was good. Not great for you, but once in a while, it's good.
You know, Randy's point about people being different. Yet somebody was talking about people that bitch a lot, and I started thinking about it. And I bitch a lot. I bitch a lot, but I don't know a single Marine veteran or Marine that doesn't bitch a lot. Yeah. Still, it's something in the conditioning and something in the DNA that you just.
Even on the rest, the Marine veterans, same way.
Yep.
Same way. Like, it doesn't even matter. It's just Marine Corps.
Yep. What was some Tony? Yes.
What?
Bit of bacon grease and some Tony Chasserais.
I can't do Tony's anymore. I have to make my own. Oh, I got a very nice compliment this weekend when I was cooking. Well, you were the one that came and told me. So when his boss came and got, what did he get? Tamales or something like that? Or did he get enchiladas? Nick?
Oh, my boss.
Your boss.
I think
came and got something. It might have been the tamales. And he was poking Garen for the recipe. And he goes, I think I got it. I got the seasoning. She uses Montreal. And
no, it's the eggs.
Oh, in the breakfast bowl. And did she use Montreal's in that? Is that what she used? It tastes like Montreal's. And so Garen came to me and told me that. And I don't use that crap. And I was like, no, this is my season. This is all mine. No, I didn't. No, I did not. In fact, I told you to go back and tell him what I put in it. Did you do that?
No, I really didn't care.
He's a foodie. You got to tell him that stuff.
I told him it wasn't Montreal.
That's all you told him. You didn't tell him how to make it. Perfect.
We've got Montreal. I think we've got the same.
We do not have Montreals in this house.
I think there's one up there that we've had for like 2 decades.
Then throw it out because it's just taking up space. I don't use that crap.
Let's see here.
It's full of
I
sugar
wish I
and
could have
MSG.
seen how adults were when you guys were growing up. Okay, so here's what would happen. We'd go see my aunt, and my uncle would be there.
Aunt Jean?
No. My dad's side.
Oh, Margie?
Margie and Uncle Harry.
Harry.
And
Oh,
anyway,
Harry.
Anyway, they would tell us to go outside and play. They'd make their coffee, and they'd tell us to go outside and play. Then they'd lock the door, and they wouldn't let us back in the house until it was time for lunch. So it was like, you talk about free ranging, you know.
Lynn's a liar. He's a total
As a
liar.
Marine, I have to admit, saying we all bitch, even though my lady would probably see, and he's bitching because of what I said.
Bitching
See?
because I said Marine. Like,
See?
he's a total liar. Like, we have known Lynn for years. I'm like, oh my gosh, how old's Ian? 31? We've known Lynn for 31 years.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, he bitches a lot.
Yeah, so that was, and gee, I can't tell you how many times I got smacked. I didn't cry. I didn't cry after about the age of 5 or 6 because I knew, well, if I started crying, it would be, do you want something to cry for?
Do you think part of the problem of us growing up is that we were free range? Like, my parents were like, just get the hell out of my hair. And that's how we got away with, like, I was like, Mom, I'm going to go stay tonight at Anne Marie's. And Anne Marie would tell her grandparents, I'm going to go stay at Angela's. And then we disappeared to Tijuana.
Well, and the difference,
like, it's weird.
The difference between that and other people. It used to be if you jacked around, your parents would find out.
Oh yeah, you totally get told on.
Somebody, but before you got home, they'd be waiting for you, and then they'd pull you want to tell me what happened today?
Yeah.
You're like, no, nothing.
Yeah.
And then they'd catch you lying, and you just get it worse. Mm-hmm. You know. And my parents were extremely involved. They were school teachers. It's like they were extremely involved. So yeah, it was just a different world. Well, and society was different too.
Well, and that's what our kids hated because, like, the more you're known in town, and especially a small town, the worse it is for you. Like, my children, they would get so mad, and they would come home and I'm like, hey, what happened yesterday? Or what happened last night? Or this and that, because I got a phone call. And so you want to tell me what was going on? What were you doing? And Lexi, especially, like our daughter, she
could not lie when she was younger.
She couldn't lie. And then so what she would do, she would just turn bright red and then hear this, I hate living in this town, which is why she couldn't get out fast enough. And she's like, everybody tells you everything. And I'm like, because everybody's trying to protect you.
Okay. Randy Pitts hit it right on top of the head. Community.
Yeah.
Even if you lived in the suburbs.
Yeah.
You still had a community.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, and I'm a firm believer in this.
You know what, and everybody checked up on you too, because I remember sitting out, we would hang out on the green box. And I remember Chris Cook, his parents, his mom especially, would always look at me and ask me if everything was okay and ask me how I was doing. Like, she was really good about that.
Well, and here's some community, but here's something else. And I'm a firm believer in this. The country started changing really bad for the worse whenever your peers could not beat your ass. Mm-hmm. There's some about getting your butt whooped by your peers that keeps you. For most people, this is just a general rule that there are people out there that I knew that would get in fights because they were just that type of person, right? But getting your butt whooped by your peers goes a lot to putting things into perspective for you. And think about how many kids today that you run into that have never truly been told no. They do. God, my kids, they used to do terrible stuff to each other. That when I was a kid, would ended up in a fight, but we would have been okay afterwards, you know. And it's just getting your butt whooped by your friends does a lot to keep people on the straight and
Yeah. Yeah, things have just changed. I think everybody's gotten into that mindset of like staying out of everybody's business, but it's really important. And I'm not going to go to that whole liberal left side of it takes a community to raise your children.
narrow. Well,
Because
it does take a community.
except for the fact that the whole reason why they came up with that is because now the government and the schools can raise your children better
Well,
than
I know,
you
but
can.
but yeah,
So we need to call it something
but
different, right?
you have to say it in context.
Well, I mean,
See, and Joseph, see, you, I had my first payroll job where they collected taxes from me at the age of 10. My son had his first one at the age of 15,
13.
13.
I walked his butt down. He said, nobody's going to hire me. I'm only 13 years old. And I said, oh, really? And so I worked at the bank.
And
so
Alexis was 15 because she didn't have her driver's license when she started.
Yeah, Alexis was different. I didn't know. So Radies had actually closed. So there weren't a lot of small businesses.
Well, no, but
in
she's
there.
still at 16.
It was, no, at 15 she started. And it was because it was she had to pay dues. What was
Union
it?
job.
Union job. It was a union building.
Press
so
shop.
she couldn't
She
start.
worked-
Yeah,
she's
she
working at
couldn't
press
start till she was 15. But Ian started at 13, and he would argue with me. And he's, Mom, nobody's going to hire me. I'm only 13. And I was like, oh, you'll get a job. And so he would go out, put in his applications, like, nobody hired me today. And I said, oh, you want a little help with that? And he's like, no. And I said, yeah, I'm going to help you out with that. So I called Reggie. And I said, hey, Reggie, are you hiring down there? And he said, yeah. I said, you want to hire a 13-year-old? He's a hard worker, and if he's not, okay, I'll beat his butt. And he said, okay. He said, bring him down, I'll interview him. So I took him down there. Reggie hired him.
He lasted about a year until he got into
Until he got lifeguard.
lifeguard and doing show band.
Yeah.
School year.
Yep. So, yeah, so he's been working since he was 13.
Well,
I did too. I think I was 12. I can't
Well,
remember.
and
Mom would have me doing odd jobs.
Here's something else. Here's something else that's different today than back when we were kids. Go into any McDonald's, any fast food place, and look at how many 20, 30, 40, people in that area that are working full time in McDonald's now. Because those jobs used to be entry level jobs, and it blows my mind when people say, well, you can't make a living wage at McDonald's. Yeah, it's because you're not supposed to.
Right.
You're not supposed to be able to raise a family off a McDonald's job. You're supposed to go to McDonald's, get experience,
It's
and
a transition.
Yeah,
and you move up.
My cousin, Michelle, my cousin started at McDonald's when she was 17, 18 years old, and now is she a regional manager?
For Wendy's, I think.
Is it Wednesday?
Wendy's.
Well,
Yeah.
it was some fast food. They're all the same.
Wendy's.
But now she's a regional manager. But she started out back in the 80s, minimum wage at this fast food place.
And worked her way
And
up
worked
and
her
did
way
all
up.
that. Well, we couldn't believe the kind of money she was making as a regional manager.
Oh man, she makes good money.
Holy
So,
smokes.
she deserves it.
Yeah.
Those regional
She
managers,
worked
they
hard.
deserve it.
Yeah.
Let's see. 10 or so, we were mowing lawns, tilling gardens and such.
Yeah.
At 15, got dishwashing job at the whopping $2.38 an hour.
Yeah.
That we're able to
Yeah.
buy my own car by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first job paid $1.10 an hour.
I can't remember the military. I think that was like $2.50 an hour. Because I would do the angel tree and that kind of thing is what Mom would have me on and doing that stuff. So when I was young, but yeah, so I think it was like $2.50 an hour. It was so funny. I thought I was rich. Like I had it made. It's because I didn't have to pay bills.
See, and rabbit right there, and welding right after I got out of high school. That is any kid today, if they want a good paying job, I tell them to learn how to weld.
Yes. And not minor welding. You need to know the heavy welding.
It's a hard job. It's not quite as bad as roofing or concrete, but it's a tough job, and they get paid good money.
You know what I'm having a problem finding?
Yeah, that's crazy. $15, $20 an hour for fast food.
Yeah, that's insane. You know what I'm having a hard time finding?
Midgets? There's no midgets out here.
A roofer.
Roofer.
They're all running around. I guess I'm gonna have to call the two that Kyle recommended. The issue that I'm having, I really don't want a bunch of immigrants up on the roof. And not sound mean, but illegals. I don't want illegals up
Yeah, I
there.
don't want to come home and look like Tijuana.
The last roofing job we had, it was a disaster. We had flat tires. We were returning flat tires for 3 months, 4 months. They had this magnet thing and they put that over, but because it was all in the gravel, the nails would go under. But as you move on, it kind of stirs all that stuff up. And yeah, it cost us more money replacing tires than it did for the deductible on the roof. And so, they're not from here. They don't understand the gravel. So they just pass things off. They're not careful to make sure everything goes in different compartments.
$300 an hour pipeline reading. Oh my god.
There you go. Yeah, Jacob, Garrett, Ian's friend, Jacob, was it Landis? What was his last name? Lanning, Jacob Lanning. He did that. Dude, it's making bank. And he started when he was right after they graduated, right?
No, it wasn't. Jacob Dierke.
Dierke.
He was laying fiber optic. He was laying fiber optic at 20 years old, making $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
But he spent 3/4 of the year in a hotel, out in all kinds of weather.
But he was 20, not married, and it worked. So.
Is anything worth it anymore? Yeah, it's worth what we make it. Seriously. Yeah, Staines is a schoolgirl.
Guys,
With a
Staines, you have got to quit that. But yeah, no, the nursing school, yeah. I think you're going to be set once you do that and then you get out here, yeah, because they're looking, Kansas needs, they're begging for more daycares and they're begging for more nurses. So I think you probably come in and name your own price, honestly. I'm not going to lie.
I'm gonna keep my opinion of nurses to myself until you get your nursing license. 17 years at a major hospital, I've got certain views.
So we have people from the clinic that actually watch our channel. So
I've told them the same thing. Okay. I've told them the same thing.
Okay.
We just don't want to introduce her to any cops.
So you're saying we need to hold her back from our son, or what? Like, is this an issue, or?
See, All American, that used to be the case, but California has passed laws that's attacking contract workers. Yeah. They are purposely trying to force everybody out of contract work because they can't. Contract workers can't be forced to get insurance and can't be forced to be unionized.
Why are you going to Kansas City? Are you literally going to drive all that way? I thought you wanted to be up here. I mean, it's a great bonus,
Depends on what hospital.
There's where all your gas is, right there. So, but yeah.
If it's Truman or University Health, or whatever they're calling it nowadays, yeah, no way. But if it's one of the ones out,
just like KU, Shawnee, that kind of thing, okay. But because that would be an hour drive. But not, I wouldn't. Don't go down into the hood.
She just wants you around so that you guys can hang out and talk and do stuff.
She's gonna be nursing. I'll never see her.
She doesn't care about you. She's worried about.
She's gonna be nursing. I'll never see her. She'll be stopping in like, "Can you feed me? I'm hungry. All I've had is cafeteria food." I know how that shit works. I've never done that.
Oh yeah, Skanes was great. Skanes is great. There ain't enough time to go through my resume. I'm in robotics and automation now instead of oil field. Well, we have to evolve. That's one of the reasons why I do the job I have, though, is because I know I have to evolve. Because no matter what the technology becomes, no matter what AI happens, no matter anything that goes on, they're always going to need some poor schmuck to walk out to the desktop and take care of you people, because you don't know what you're doing, and you break stuff.
I find it funny that you say that because I especially remember the transition from the 80s into the 90s. Like you were teaching those classes, but then, or I'm sorry, the 90s into the 2000s, you were teaching those classes. But I do remember once you went into civilian life, when you started doing that, you had books, and I mean books and books and books. And his nose was constantly in a book. And like, what are you doing? He's like, I got to learn this software. I have to know this. I got to know this. I have to
Well, no,
prepare
you
that.
have to do professional development.
So you do have to evolve.
No, I wasn't evolving. I'm still doing the same job I was doing 20 some years ago. Technology changes, so I have to learn that.
Yeah.
That's not evolving. That's just adapting. Evolving would have been.
I think
changing
adapting
jobs.
is like what I do when they go, here's a new iPhone 15. I go, how the hell do I work this thing? And I
Get out!
right. that is adapting,
What,
but
screaming
evolving.
Screaming at me because your phone's stupid?
Yeah, but evolving is when you have to educate yourself to move forward. So I think you do a pretty good job on that. I think it's all in how you define that.
My job is 80% customer service.
Which is weird because you don't like people.
My job is setting expectations and keeping people happy and making them think I care about them. I do.
Yeah, so Topeka's as far as you plan on going, then KC, just hang on, because if KC's offering $30,000 bonus to sign on, then Topeka's probably doing the same thing as well.
Home health is big, right? So actually, all across the region, home health is pretty big.
Yeah, Topeka's like begging for that.
You got to have a library of your own. I have contacts that help, but you have to learn. Yeah, see, I quit keeping all the manuals because if I got access to the internet, I can find the answer to the problem in less than 5 minutes.
But you also did something else too.
My problem is I still haven't mastered. I thought you mastered truck driving, bro. I thought you were doing really good at that. That's a tough job.
Read it? Yeah, I kind of like to read it. Occupation. I've changed occupations too quickly and too many times. I'm also not good with tech. Well, I don't. Yeah, I thought he was trucking. Man, there's my.
Why does that thing keep popping?
Yeah, I totally don't know. I'm gonna have to go turn that off. I think I'm gonna have to move everything outside. So I'm pressure canning in the Instant Pot, and I'm not liking it. So
the first time you done it?
No, but I did it with the tamales, and it was alright. So I'm not sure what's going on. But this is the second time, well, third time, because I did another batch before this. But I think I need to take them outside. It's freaking hot here anyway. I need to turn that off.
I just let it should be done.
Well, I haven't heard it beep.
It beeped 10 minutes ago.
No, I hadn't, because I had an error.
Oh.
I had to restart it. And so it keeps telling me, I think something's wrong with it. It keeps telling me food is burned at the bottom.
Okay, we've been at this for almost an hour and 20 minutes. I got one more thing I want to talk about that just really has bothered me for the last couple of days. Did you guys see the speech that Biden did in front of the anti-gun groups 2 or 3 days ago? Well, he used the F-15. You got to have F-15's comments. But this time the way he worded it was basically, if we decide to get out of line, they have to have F-15s. Okay.
They don't have to have. They have. They have F-15s. We would need to have.
Yeah, we would need F-15s to combat them. But the way he said it, if we get out of line. Now, in my mind, the argument on their case should be, well, they don't need guns because we're not going to get out of line because we follow the Constitution. Constitution. But no, if we decide to get out of line, there's nothing they can do about it because they don't have F-15s. That's literally the context of what he said. That is the meaning of what he said. If we decide to deciding to get out of line and deciding to be tyrants is an option. They finally admitted that it is an option in their book. Which
they're sitting us. They're going to force us to civil war.
Well, no, it's not that.
I think it is. I think it is.
Hey,
it just
Zig.
It and
Gregory showed up too.
They were chasing a neighbor's cow.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Love country life.
Been there, done that. But yeah, so no, I think they're forcing us there. I think they're forcing our hand. I think they want it. Well, I think if our country is in upset, when is the best time for another country to come in and take control, right? So, or do what they want to cause war.
Well, my thing is they're so clueless, and they can't read the room when they say stuff like that. In my mind, yeah, you make comments like that. That type of comment is exactly why I need a gun.
Yeah.
And here's something else.
That's not the first time he's done that either.
I know, and it's like the fourth time he's done it. But this is the first time he's worded it like that. Right?
I don't know.
If we decide to get out of line, that's what he said. You know.
Because the talk, they hear the chatter, they know everybody's mad and upset.
You know.
So.
And here's the other thing. It's an outgrowth of that. The whole point of the Second Amendment is a warning to government that violence is not off the table. Well, thanks to censorship, YouTube, the media, if we even suggest that violence is not off the table, then we are advocating violence. And that's not the case. That is not the case.
We would look for a country to get fixed peacefully.
You know?
It would be great.
Yeah. You know? And then the third thing. And the reason why I said what I just said about not advocating violence is because we have to discuss violence. These people don't realize that they do not live in the green zone in Baghdad. They don't live behind barbed wire and machine gun nests. Their families don't live secure from the populace and the people who, if something were to go down, would do them harm. They, and when I say they, I mean the politicians and anti-gunners and everybody who thinks it's okay to say, well, we'll just use force to take their guns from them. Mm-hmm. The ATF agents that murdered the dude down in Arkansas, their families live amongst the population. Now, nobody's going to do anything. Nobody's going to do anything right now because we're all still too polite, and we're still hoping that there's a solution that doesn't involve violence. I know I don't want it. I haven't been in combat myself, but I've seen the aftermath of it. I've seen dudes coming back from it. I don't want to see it. All right. I've been to countries. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
It would be horrible. It would be horrible for especially those of us that have children and grandchildren and that kind of thing. It's terrible. Did you see that? So there's the T-shirt. We need to get Ghost on that. Yep. Get Ghost on it.
That comment is exactly why I need it.
We can do those T-shirts.
I can do that. Yeah,
get them ordered. Yeah.
I'll get with Ghost and see if we can't come up with a good design.
Yeah.
You know, but they say these things. And I don't think that when I say, again, we started talking about Biden, but there are people all across the spectrum that make these comments. There are people that see absolutely no problem with sending armed agents against their fellow citizens, right. And they advocate for it. And when I say people, I don't mean politicians or news pundits. I mean there are civilians out there that think, yeah, the government should forcibly take our guns.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It really bothered me, and it started me down this whole path. And I wanted to get that out there because we need to start talking about this stuff, and we need to start making people understand that when you take our options away from us, we're going to go to the options left, and the gun genie's already out of the bottle. You know, there's no way. I did the math on it. Even assuming that every single military member, every single law enforcement officer, and every single armed federal agent were 100% behind the disarmament, a forcible disarmament of the people,
which they're not.
they could not do it. There are too many gun owners, and there are not enough of them.
Yeah.
Right? So somehow our side.
Well, I know if they ever push that, I know our son and many other officers that would walk. They'd quit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Assuming that if everybody would support them.
Yeah, they won't.
You know.
They won't.
So what we need to do, and if you guys can come up with a way to do this, and come up with a narrative or a message to start working on this, we need to come up with a way to talk to these people and make them understand that what they're saying and what they're doing is limiting our choices.
I don't think
they're pushing us into a corner, and I don't think they understand what the true repercussions are.
They're pushing us into a corner, and now I think they're figuring out that they're pushing us into a corner, and I think that's why Biden said what he said.
Well, and any NSA official that's monitoring this live or understand this, you've got a whole bunch of Gen Xers whose kids have moved out, and our GAF meters are broken. The fields where we grow our Fs are barren. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of my country being torn apart. I'm tired of. It bothers me that my grandchildren are not going to be able to grow up in the country that I grew up in. It bothers me. And you know, so there it is. There it is. Exactly. A self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, they don't need guns, but we're going to try to forcibly take them. Oh, Phil, there's a whole nother discussion there because, yeah, he's done, but it's a case of what comes next.
Right.
It's a case of what comes next. He will probably be out of the running after the first, if they have the first debate.
Well, the debate's coming up, right? Isn't that this week?
I don't know, but they've already leaked plans on how they're going to force him out. You know, you've already got the Obamas and the Clintons and all the power people talking about how
toxic. They know he's toxic to them, and so. But what scares me is now they're talking about pulling Hillary Clinton in. No, her name is coming up a lot.
It's going to be Big Mike or Newsom.
Oh, not Big Mike, and definitely not Newsom. Can you imagine? We're going to go from the pan to the fire. Good Lord.
Look, they got Biden elected. The most popular president ever, 81 million votes.
Well, see, and that's exactly it. I think if they don't watch themselves with this election and they steal the election this time, if they do that, I can definitely see why they know the Civil War is coming, because I think people are going to be fed up.
Yes, there was. I'm all right.
What?
Caddyshack.
Was there gopher dancing? Gopher?
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys, listen. I'm sorry if I ended that on a what one would consider a radical note or a downbeat. It was just something that I had to.
I don't think it was a downbeat. I think it's how we're all feeling, and just not everybody is saying it. And we've got the platform; we can say it, put it out. So.
Yeah, Gregory's 100% right.
We'll know if we get closed down tomorrow. If we don't see you next Tuesday, it's because we got strike. So, anyway.
I'll just find somebody to do a live with.
Right.
Hey, put me on the channel. I'm toxic. Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
All right, guys, listen. Been on here for an hour and a half. Thank you for showing up. I didn't talk about Star. You know what? I will do a video, and I will tell you about the Starlink saga.
It's still going on.
And I'm going to do this video so that anybody's looking to anybody that's looking at Starlink can go to this video and see the good stuff and the bad stuff about Starlink.
And they've been good, and we're on. It'll be 3 years in November, December, right? So then that we've had Starlink.
Don't ruin my video.
No, I'm just
You're
not.
spilling the
But
beans.
you know, so like right now it's a cable issue, but yet here we are. So kind of like trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, they're all gonna be wanting a cable issue, and it's still working.
Well,
Now
see, so now you get your video. I gave you fuel. There's your fuel. There you go. The teaser is out there. Like that was your, what do they call that? What's the, when they put the little thing for a film out there? What is it? Trailer. There's your trailer.
Okay, guys. You got shoes on.
Yeah.
You'll put the chickens in.
Right.
Turkeys are already put away. Did
Did
you see the video of the turkey chicks? We let them out. I gotta get a video of them doing
They are
that.
so sticky.
They're cuter than chicken chicks.
Leonard says, "I'll host you."
Yeah.
Yep. Totally down for that.
Oh yeah, we'll get Leonard tossed off of YouTube too.
No, he's got lower numbers, so remember you get more leeway.
Under
we
the
can
radar.
get like the entire United States Marine Corps on there.
I'll get Spags on there with us.
Oh man.
So you want?
We should totally do that. That would be so. Just for the hell of it, we should just do that. That's funny. It'll get.
By the way, anybody that's a Spags fan, I was talking to him. His weeknights are taken up with some extra work, so that's why he hasn't been online as much as he has been in the past. So it's not that he's abandoned everybody. It's just he's been really busy, which is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Did all my copper get stomped?
I have no idea. No, because I got a whole bunch of cable out here that needs to go.
Well, what he has, did it get stomped? Well, you need to
Talk
find
to
out.
him.
You need to go.
Why don't you talk to Buffalo Creek
Oh
Fruit
crap!
Company?
I forgot about that. Would you just make me a list so that I can look at it? I'm getting old. I need lists now. Like I am at the age limit where I need a list.
Yeah, I'm the one. Never mind. I'm not gonna do it. It's going off the speed.
What do you mean you're not going to?
It's going to blow up.
You're not going to give me a list.
No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Don't tell people that it's going to blow up. Everybody's going to be scared the pressure came.
All right, guys. Listen. Go out tomorrow. Live a lifetime free. Be better. At least 1%. No more than 1%. We don't want you being better too much.
At least 1%.
We don't want you being better too much. Okay. You got to pace yourself.
Be as good as you can be. That's all I ask.
I like that better than 1%.
I like to be at least 1% better. I'm not gonna lie. So there's that. Bye guys.
One more thing. Y'all behave not to make too many waves. Absolutely. All right, guys. Take care. Go live a lifetime free.